Hello and welcome to the third episode of Leaky Faucet Game Hunts and More. Let's go hunt for video games at Goodwill. I nearly blew a load walking into the store today when I saw this massive stack. It's hardly ever this well stocked. It's likely that other people picked through it though, because it was mostly sports titles. I actually like sports games, but I usually don't get them here since they're $3.49 each plus tax, and for outdated sports games, better deals can be found. However, I was able to dig Need for Speed The Run, Demon's Souls, Black, and F1 2009 out of the pile. For those of you that don't know, F1 2009 on the Wii is actually a sort of rare game. You have to look out for those oddball titles on the Wii. They can sometimes be worth more than you would think. Over with the toys, we have The Sims Mega Deluxe. Maybe someone who still collects boxed PC games will enjoy that. And a LEGO Star Wars set that unfortunately seemed to be missing a lot of the pieces. I didn't pick it up for that reason. Tucked away in the corner, I found this Ripstick. I do a little bit of skateboarding, but I've never rode one of these. I'm aware that some people clown on them, but to me they look pretty fun. So I'm taking it with me, out the door, on this very successful day. Back the next day, and the game shelf looks mostly the same. The Wii U titles are definitely a curiosity. Don't see them too often. Don't see Sega Genesis games often either. I already have Sonic 2 though, so I didn't get it. There was also a GameCube game, yet another console I don't see a lot of at Goodwill, but it was loose and pretty scratched, so I didn't get it either. By the way, I would highly recommend Madden 10 on the PSP to anyone who likes football games. You can do custom playbooks on the PSP version, long after it had been taken out of the console releases. The Beavis and Butthead Experience, featuring all new music from bands that don't suck. I wanted to pick this up, but I really didn't need it. Someone was a Green Day fan. Anything interesting in the back? A typewriter. That's pretty cool, even though I definitely don't need it. So after this run, I took a trip to 3 different Goodwill stores I don't go to as often. They're in a different area, and they're much more posh, if that's a word that can even be applied to secondhand stores. They are cleaner and more organized, and the donations are significantly less likely to be complete junk. They're also much more bland and boring though, and I hardly ever find anything here that I want to buy. As you can see, the game sections featured extremely slim pickings. The third location didn't even have any games at all. The most interesting thing was budget DVDs. Boring. Back at my regular Goodwill on a different day, and there's a lot more games to be found. Or rather, seen, since I didn't buy any. Boxed Genesis games are cool, but no titles I really want to own, and I don't collect physical PC games, so I'll leave them for someone else. This whole section looks picked through. I wish I had gotten here earlier. Here's some old computer thing. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's valuable, or maybe it isn't. This location has way more electronics than usual. Wow. Remember those old PS2 trivia games? I think that's what this controller is for. Not anything I need, but I like seeing anything game related. It gives me hope, you know? Back again sometime later. Days? Weeks? I don't remember, but the game shelf is totally different now and the pickings look slim. Except for one jewel I dug out of the rough. Scoff at Guitar Hero all you want, this right here is a rare game. Many of the artist-specific ones are. It was a bit morbid picking this up not long after Eddie's unfortunate passing, but I'm still happy to find something cool. Some of the board games look pretty cool too. I didn't pick any up though. Back again, and by coincidence, the only game to be found is another one that made me kinda sad. But this time it wasn't one that I needed. The only other hint of video games in the store today was this Triforce thing that's battery operated. And what the hell is this? The only thing I bought was a Michael Crichton novel that I've heard is pretty cool. Yet another day at Goodwill, and if only I wanted a bunch of copies of the Chicago soundtrack, I would be so happy. Where is my mind? It's on the games, of course. None of them seem to be very interesting, though. Over here they have even more, and Die Hard Trilogy on PS1. Oh, that figures. Some Sega stuff too, which I don't see here often. What else? More DS stuff, nothing I need though. Hey, comic books! A rarity at Goodwill in my experience. This looks like an interesting series, I'll have to check it out, but I'm not bothering with these copies. It looks like it's not a complete run. What is this? And why is it $15? Also, $7.99 for a standard DVD player? Are you high? And on the shelf right next to it was a Blu-ray player for $5.99, classic. And this is certainly a first. I think I'm gonna call this video right here. Let's once again check out what I found, what I paid, including tax, and compare it to the average price, including shipping, of the 5 most recent sold eBay listings of the same item in a similar condition. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to leave a like if you think I earned one, and to subscribe and ring the bell if you want to keep up with my future videos. And above all, remember that if there is a thrift store near you, there are treasures waiting to be found.